The Journey of Little Liora and the Moonlight Stone. Once upon a time, in a quiet valley where the grass shimmered silver under the stars, there lived a little girl named Liora. She was not the fastest runner in her village, nor the strongest, nor even the cleverest. But she had something inside her that made her shine like a lantern on a dark night. She carried a heart full of calm. One evening, as Liora gazed at the glowing moon, she noticed something strange. The moon's light flickered, as if a candle were trembling in the wind. Then, with a soft sigh, the moon whispered to her, "My stone has fallen. Without it, I cannot shine fully for the world below." Liora's eyes widened. The Moonlight Stone was said to be the source of the moon's glow, hidden high among the stars. But now it had slipped and fallen into the world. The moon asked gently, "Will you help me, child?" Though her knees trembled, Liora nodded. She did not know how she would succeed, but she knew she must try. With a lantern in hand, she set off on her journey. Her first steps took her into the whispering forest. The trees bent low as she walked, their leaves rustling with words that brushed her ears. "Turn back," they hissed. "The stone is not for you. You are too small, too weak, too young." Liora stopped. The voices made her chest heavy. She wanted to run home and hide under her blanket, but she remembered what her grandmother had told her. Sometimes the hardest thing is not to fight, but to stand quietly without fear. So Liora placed her hand on the bark of the nearest tree and whispered back, "Thank you for your warning, but I will keep going." She walked forward calmly. The forest groaned in disappointment, but the voices grew softer until they faded into the night. It was the first lesson of her journey: patience. Beyond the forest lay the Lake of Echoes. Its surface was so smooth it looked like a mirror, reflecting every star in the sky. When Liora stepped close, the water rippled and spoke in her own voice. "You will never find the stone," the echo told her. "You are foolish to try. Stay here, stare into me, and you will be safe forever." The water shimmered with tempting beauty, showing her face smiling peacefully. For a moment, Liora thought of sitting by the lake forever, letting the world pass her by. But then she remembered, safety was not the same as courage. She knelt by the water and said softly, "I hear you, but I do not need to believe you. I will not stay." Her reflection wavered and vanished, replaced by a tiny glimmer deep in the water. The lake grew quiet, and Liora walked on. It was the second lesson: self-control. The road grew steep, carrying her into the valley of shadows. Dark creatures slid along the ground, shaped like smoke and fear. They whispered of her mistakes, of every time she had stumbled, every tear she had shed. One shadow slithered close and hissed, "If you were strong, you would not be afraid." Liora took a breath. "Maybe I am afraid," she admitted, her voice steady. "But fear is not the end. I can keep walking even with fear beside me." The shadow shivered, then melted away into nothingness. With every step she took, more shadows disappeared, until the valley was empty and calm. It was the third lesson: acceptance. At last, she reached the meadow of dancing clouds, where white, fluffy clouds floated just above the grass. They spun and twirled, laughing in voices like bells. In the middle of the meadow, high on a cloud pedestal, sparkled the Moonlight Stone. But before she could climb, the clouds formed a great swirling wall. "If you wish to take the stone," they chimed, "you must prove your strength. Push through us, wrestle us down." Liora stared at them. She knew she had no strength for wrestling clouds. She was too small, too light. Instead, she sat down quietly on the grass. "Why do you sit?" the clouds demanded. "Because strength does not always mean fighting," Liora replied. "Sometimes strength is kindness. If you are dancing, I will not break your dance. If you are guarding, I will not force my way. But I will sit here, patiently, until you see that I mean no harm." The clouds swirled in surprise. Never had anyone spoken to them so gently. Slowly, their wall opened, and the pedestal appeared. With quiet steps, Liora walked forward and picked up the Moonlight Stone. It pulsed warmly in her hands, filling her with a silver glow that seemed to come from inside her own heart. When she returned to the valley, she lifted the stone toward the sky. The moon beamed, its light blooming once more, flooding the world with peace. "You have done what even the strongest could not," said the moon. "You did not fight with anger, or rush with pride, or despair in fear. You walked with patience, with self-control, with kindness, and with acceptance. The stone was never truly lost. It was waiting for the one who carried these virtues inside." Liora felt her chest glow as bright as the moon. She realized the journey had not given her power, it had revealed the quiet power she already carried. From that night on, whenever the moon shone in the sky, children whispered stories of the little girl who had brought back its light. And Liora knew, deep within her, that the true treasure was not the stone itself, but the strength of a calm and steady heart.